Hello everyone, welcome to Ask the Champion. My name is Matteo, UK Brewers Cup champion and finalist at the Italian Barista Championship 2024. And I'm here to address your questions and concerns about OutIn products. Let's start with the first question. How to choose the right grind size for the OutIn Plus Basket. Sometimes it's hard to understand the right grind size for espresso with naked eyes. If you take two grind sizes, at first they might look the same, but they can actually give different results during brewing. One can give faster or slower flow rate than the other, and this because the extraction dynamic of the espresso can change with the micro adjustment of the grind size. So the best way to identify the right grind size is with the extraction time. What you need to do is to start the timer as soon as the OutIn Nano start to pump the water. It will take a few seconds before you will start to see the first drop of coffee liquid, and you can use this time reference to assure that the grind size you're using is the correct one. For example, with the OutIn Plus Basket, you should aim to see the first drop of coffee coming out at around 9-10 seconds. This can vary depending on coffee, but on average this is where I get the best result. If the coffee is coming out before 7 seconds from the extraction time and you see a fast flow rate, you might get a coffee that is under extracted. And if instead the first drop of coffee is coming out after 12 seconds from the start of the extraction time and you see that the flow rate is kind of slow, you might get in your cup an over extracted coffee. This is the best way to understand if the grind size with your OutIn Nano is correct. Now the next question. How to adjust the coffee volume in the basket? In coffee we usually use a scale to understand how much coffee we put in the basket, and that quantity first of all depends on the size of the basket. For example, we know that with the OutIn Plus Basket we can fit in between 16 or 18 grams of coffee. But weight doesn't always help us to identify the correct volume, and this because different varietals or different roast level can give us a different volume with the same weight. For example, 16 grams of dark roasted coffee will have more volume than 16 grams of light roasted coffee, and this is because they have a different density. But what if you don't have a scale? Here is what you need to do. After you place the ground coffee in the basket, give 2-3 taps on the counter to vertically distribute the grounds. Then look at the basket rim. The coffee should be on the same level or slightly below it. This is a good reference to understand the correct volume in the basket. Now, if the grounds sits above the rim and you cannot see it, it means that there is too much coffee grounds. If the level is way below the rim, it means that you need to put more coffee. Also, the volume can depend on the grind size. Coarser grinds have more volume than finer and vice versa. So if you tap the coffee on the counter and you see that the level of the coffee is way below the rim, but if you go to do the extraction, the first drop is coming out after 12 seconds or don't come out at all, it means that the grind size is too fine. By grinding coarser the same quantity of coffee, you will get more volume in the basket and probably the extraction will follow the right dynamics. This can also happen for the opposite case, when the coffee grounds are too coarse and they sit way above the rim of the basket and also give you a fast extraction. Grinding finer the same quantity of coffee will fix the problem. Now the last question for today. Is light roast possible with this machine, or should I stick with medium or dark roast? Brewing light roasted coffee on espresso can be challenging, but not impossible. Here is my suggestion. First of all, the grind size should be finer than dark roast, and this to ensure a sufficient extraction. This because light roast is denser than medium and dark roast. This higher density also makes the coffee heavier, so I generally suggest placing at least 18 grams in the OutIn Plus Basket. In terms of water, fill the reservoir until the top because light roast needs more water to balance the extraction. And if you put less water, you might end up with an espresso with a high and sharp acidity. So the extraction generally should be longer than when you brew medium or dark roast. And for today, that's it. I hope my answers have been useful to you to brew more delicious coffee with your OutIn Nano. And I will see you in the next Ask the Champion with OutIn. Have a nice day.